All right, y'all. So, welcome to What's Your Nerd, the new podcast, starring myself, Flame on Games, and I got my guy Nerd Solo. We're representing All Nerd Entertainment. This is our first episode. We got a special guest. We got Timmy B in the house.
Yes, sir. Timmy B is a fellow content creator, and he's a gaming streamer. Is that fair enough? Just call you a gamer. You stream games strictly.
Yeah, that's it. Specifically Call of Duty. That's it. Like I wouldn't
Yeah,
even consider myself necessarily a gamer. I think I would do. I'm not doing the title justice. I just specifically play Call of Duty. That's it. That's kind of my thing. The thing I've been into. Um, yeah, really, I've tried other stuff, but mainly Warzone's my jam, dude. I
yeah.
love it.
I remember you saying that before, like you wouldn't consider yourself a gamer, but I've seen you play Call of Duty, so and you're better than me, and you do it all the time. So you're a gamer.
Okay. I'll take
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
especially the Warzone aspect. I try to get good at that thing, but it's not. I'm not. I'm better at Apex and Fortnite.
Okay.
Oof.
I've
Yeah.
dabbled in Fortnite a little bit. I got my kiddos. They're way into it. They play the Apex. They play Fortnite. I mean Madden. You name it. Those kids. My kids are what I would consider gamers.
Gamer.
Um, yeah, absolutely. But man, Fortnite is tricky. Get me on no build and I'm all right. Get me in those builds and I can't.
Oh,
I can't
oh
hang,
yeah.
man.
My fingers don't work that fast. I see my son even at about to turn 5 years old. He can play builds on the Switch, and I'm like, that's something special.
That is special. Absolutely. That's a whole. That's another level. Watching
Man,
these kids just throw stuff up.
yeah, Fortnite is crazy, man. I saw this funny meme about that. It was like when you go to shoot a player and he builds a five-star resort with Wi-Fi. And I was just like, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's Fortnite. You're just like, what's going on? I'm trying to kill you. Like, what are you doing? You're just building stuff.
Oh yeah. My first
Yeah.
attempt at trying to build anything was like uh so rudimentary. It was like this thing, scroll through. That's not what I want. That's and I'm dead. Like that's
Yeah.
that's Fortnite build mode in a nutshell for me.
That's funny. Yeah, no, how did you like have you always played Call of Duty, or is this like a new thing since it's been out for you?
Newfound love.
It's a refound love, not new. It's a
Okay.
refound love. So, Modern Warfare. I think it's. Oh, I think it was the first one. I think it was Call of Duty 4. Whatever the first online version of it was, I was on the tail end of that. My cousin got me into it. He was a demon at it. I think he was like top 500. Yeah, in the world in that first online mode. Watching him play, he made it look so much fun. I caught the very tail end of it, and then World at War came out, and that was like my first real start into the Call of Duty world. And we went through, I think, the first 2, 3 titles of the Call of Duty world there, and then life happens, and then we kind of fell out of it. But um, Warzone came out, and we started. I started catching up. I never watched anybody stream ever. I didn't understand the lure to it. I didn't get it. I would ask my kids like, why don't you play? You own the game, play the game. Why are you watching people play the? I understood
Yeah.
it. I
It's
caught
so
another
funny.
content.
I used to say that all the time myself, like to my younger cousins and nephews. I'm like, they just sit in the room, they watch other people play video games, and now I'm like, oh snap, Timmy B's on. Let me see what he's doing. I'm like
I
doing
didn't.
laundry while watching, my fellow streamers.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you learn so much from watching other people. It's fun. It's cool to hang out and then like see what they're doing, and they kind of like inspire you, like motivate you in a way. And I caught somebody on like just random, another Facebook content creator, hung out with him for I don't know the first 30 minutes, hour maybe. I got stuck on it, and that was like right when the Warzone came out. It was around the same time I believe that like COVID was going down, not a whole lot of things to do like outside. We're kind of like stuck. And
Yeah,
I
took
learned it
over.
was free to play, right? So I was like, free to play. I'm down. I'm going home tonight. I was like watching at work or something. I'm like, I'm going home tonight. I'm gonna download this. And then um my love didn't start there. I absolutely hated the game at first. It was so difficult, but that's what made it great. That's why I love it, because how difficult still to this day. I've got 2 years into the game and I still find it like so difficult. And I think
Yeah.
that's why I like it. It's not like something you can just master. It's some I
Yeah.
just everybody gets better together, and
It,
the
it,
skill levels keep climbing and I can't get over the top of anybody. I'm just
it's
like
like
still
Yeah.
it's
here.
kind of like learning how to play the guitar. It's easy to learn, hard to master type deal.
The more you
Yeah.
learn, the more you know how much you don't know along the way.
Yeah. You
Exactly.
know
You're
what's
like, oh
you
wow.
know you know what's crazy about Call of Duty, the Warzone thing I said? It's like it doesn't matter how many times you play a map, it's like the angling. Like you could be on the same road, but you're facing a different way and it looks completely different. So you're like, have I been here before? It looks familiar. Have I been here before? And like that's the thing about it's like even though you've been to that place a million times, it's sometimes it's just impossible to master it because it's like there's so many ways you can just view the map. It's so
Yeah.
and that game is crazy. I think we played one time. It was pretty fun.
I
That
had a
that
blast with
time.
you. I
Yeah. But like for me, it's like, dude, like that it's just I this is why I get anxiety playing it. Like it's just
You start
there's
feeling
just
the shakes of the controller. You just
yeah, there's just so much going on, and then like people that play, like I don't want to say like y'all kind of like tweak out. You're like, oh, this is where this is going. Move now, and it's like, wait, where we going? Wait, enemy north, and I'm like, wait, I don't know what you're talking about over here, and then like you just see the little ping on the screen. It's like, blue. Oh wait, are we looking this way? What is going? Wait, I'm just like, all right, you know
everything's
what,
moving
man?
really fast.
Yeah, I'm just over here like, oh, all right, like I'll try to keep up, but
That's
it's a
it.
fun
Keep up.
time. Yeah,
It's
it's
so
definitely
fun.
a fun time. Um, Kind of to segue into the next question. So when did you start streaming? Like exactly?
Pretty much right away when I started Warzone again, I started thinking about doing it. It looked fun. It looked what what I liked about it was like the thing that's happening alongside playing video games, like the 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 conversation, the chat, like the community thing. And it was almost simultaneously those two things happened. When I watched that content creator playing Warzone, I was also like, I was re falling in love with the idea of playing Call of Duty again and maybe taking it to that other thing too. They kind of both happened simultaneously. So, um, but to make it happen was like, I think pretty much where everybody starts is I play on console. Still to this day, I play on console. And at the time, the only two places you could stream, I think, were YouTube and Twitch. So that's where I started. I started at Twitch, of course. No camera, um, audio. Like my chat audio came from the mic on my headset. It was very basic in the living room, shared spaces with the family. Like that's how it went down.
Yeah,
So that was kind
yeah,
of my next question. Was that there wasn't nothing really that got you into streaming? You just like you started playing and you saw how fun it is to talk to people and having the chat up. There wasn't
That
anything
yeah, that
particular.
was it. Was like this guy was playing a video game very well, mind you. He was playing the game, making it look easy, right? Making it look fun, and then also having this whole conversation. And then along the way, like of course it wasn't like day one. I was like, this is what's happening. I'm gonna play a video game and then I'm gonna stream. But it was really close together. But I would see the his regular people come back and like you got to almost like I saw how he had his like almost like this weird little online family thing happening. Like he would show up and then like his people in his chat would get fired up and be like, dude, I took today off of work because I knew this new drop came in or this new update came on and I wanted
yeah.
to see you do it. And I was like, dude, that's what's up. Like that's cool. That's super cool. And it's and you can form like relationships and real true
Yeah.
friendships throughout this journey, and that's kind of like what got me excited to try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, in my point of view, I've never seen a community, no less an online community, like as positive as the gaming community. Every once in a while, you'll see something weird where somebody gets called out for being a dick, basically. But like
Mm.
that's far and in between from what I've seen, and like whether it's you or like Silk or Flame, I go in the chat and it's just so welcoming. Like the first time I went in yours, you were like, "Yo, what up, nerd?" I was like,
Uh-huh.
"I like this guy instantly." Like, you
Yeah,
know how you
no,
say when you
most
meet
definitely.
somebody, they say when you meet somebody, like you know if like you're gonna like that person in the first 3 seconds. It's like even faster on like the introduction on like a stream.
Okay. Oh man, that
Because
makes me feel great. I appreciate that, man.
yeah, because I have some
Yeah,
people that I know I watch them and they're cool people. They interact with my stream sometimes, but like I'll go in their stream and like they don't really say anything at all.
Mhm.
So like I don't
Mhm.
watch their streams as much. Most of that is just for supporting a fellow content creator. But like
Okay.
seeking out somebody like Timmy B, he's on, he's going to be live, he's going to acknowledge everyone in the chat or try to if it doesn't get too fast for you.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Oh man, and it took me a long time to get there. Honestly, like Um, I'm not like a guy that's like front and center. I want to be on stage or anything. That's not me. That's what's kind of weird. And like my family looks at me and they see me doing this and like, what are you like? That's not you. But it took me a while to get there to like put myself on camera, to put my voice out there, to speak. I'm very like self conscious of those things, and doing this along the way, like even doing this right now, like 2 years ago, no way, man. Like no way. So
yeah,
it's built my confidence and my ability to speak, interact with people, especially like in a setting like this. This is no way, shape, or form like a normal um like interaction between people,
yeah,
but along the
Yeah,
way, like I've learned to kind of like it's been like now a new comfort zone, like I do this almost better than I do like in the real world, IRL, like
yeah.
yeah,
um I'm not saying I'm great at it, but I'm saying like I enjoy it and I've gotten a lot better along the way.
It's just that it gave you a confidence boost, and you're like, where did that come from? Not like
Absolutely.
you're not confident. It's just
Mhm.
it seems like you're a good public speaker, and you're like, I never used to be that.
Yeah, I
yeah.
did it. Yeah, I didn't want to be that guy. Yeah, but here I am because yeah, just along the way it looked fun. Yeah, just it looked fun.
I feel like with streaming, it's just good. Like you have to get over that like initial thing of like putting yourself out there, but like when I look in these like in the camera, it's just I see like it's a view into kind of like your life. You can learn a lot about the person from just looking at the stream. And I think it really does help because like you're home, you ain't got no choice but to be yourself. So it's like, look, if you're pull up on this stream, this is me. I have nothing else. And then when you see like people do fuck with you, they like you, and you don't have to try. Because like a lot of times in the real life, like you do like even if you don't try to, you got to put on a mask to some kind of extent. And when you're home, and like this camera is just a window into that. So it's like that I feel like that really helps all of us. Cause even me, man, like the streams are way different than interacting with people, even like on in comedy, cause it's like it's just different. But it's like here, all you get is me. There's nothing to hide here. Like it's just so it's like either you stick around and you get to know me for me, or hey, if I'm not your cup of tea, I'm not your cup of tea. But it's still an amazing thing to be able to do, and it's cool to see a lot of like really positive people, man. Because honestly, like Nerd was saying, I'm surprised how positive the gaming community is. Just because like for me coming from comedy, it's like everybody wants the spotlight. You know what I mean? So everybody like you get some support, but it's not like support. And then you come here and
Yeah,
it like even though you see the cameras like here, people really pull up on you, and they ask about stuff like they give a shit about other things, like I've had people ask me about comedy, and it's crazy because it's like they've never even seen me, but they know what I do. And that's just, to me, that's like just a sign of like the person's willingness to, like, they really want to know about things, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's I really
it's it's
enjoy.
behind the screen, but it seems more sincere. Because like I like how you put it in the beginning. You said you're at home, so you don't really have much choice to be yourself. Especially most of us, we have families,
Yeah.
kids walking in and out, wife, asking questions in the middle of the street. So you're not gonna be someone where they'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing right now?" You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know this voice,
Right.
unless
Yeah.
you're a broadcaster and you're trying to get that, broadcasting voice type deal. But
And
Yeah.
so Tim, where are you originally from, and what is that the same place that you're at now?
no, originally from Central Coast, California, Santa Maria, particularly. My first 10 years in California. I grew up with a single mother and we moved around a lot. She's chasing jobs, chasing the dream, trying to do her thing. So a lot of around California, around that particular area. Ended up in Florida at one point, and then came back. And then where I consider myself growing up though is in Arizona, in Bullhead City, Arizona, which is
Let's go.
as far west Arizona as you can get, literally
Let's
on the
go.
river. I know my dude over here in Arizona as well, as far west of Arizona as you can get, across the river from Laughlin, Nevada,
Yeah.
which is not far from Las Vegas. So
Hmm.
the town I grew up in, Bullhead City, it was, at the time there was not a whole lot going on. Like if you wanted a great meal, you weren't finding it there unless you were cooking it yourself. You wanted good shopping, you were not you're not finding it there unless you were like super digging Walmart. And at that time, in the mid to late 90s, Walmart ain't what it is now. Like I dig Walmart shit now, but like
Yeah,
what it was then, you had very few options. So
Right.
Vegas was the spot. That was the spot to be. And eventually, like my family ended up in Vegas. I did a whole lot of like around the country, different jobs and stuff in my adult life, but always knew that I would end up back in Vegas, kind of close to what I consider a second home, a second place where I grew up as well.
nice.
Yeah. Bullhead City, man. You can eat snake there, man. Did you
You
know
can
that?
eat snake there.
Yeah, they
Absolutely.
advertise that. Like that's the thing. Like I remember pulling up, because me and my family, like my first vacation ever, we stayed at the Colorado Bell in Laughlin.
Yeah.
And like as you start getting over there, you see this, it's like Bullhead City. You can eat snake, eat snake. You can eat snake here, and I'm just
That's like
like,
their
yo,
call to fame.
yeah, like yo, Arizona is wild, bro. It's crazy. Like we have like desert, forest, farmland. Like when you get northern, it's like Arizona's it's a interesting state, man. When you drive through here, it's the
Other
home.
than oceanfront property, you have it all.
Yeah,
Right.
most definitely.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
And I never been out to Arizona. That's one place I've been. Like I moved around a lot myself. Dad being military, and then parents split up in middle school, and then me and my mom pretty much same deal, just chasing jobs up and down the East Coast though. So like I do have a second home from Philadelphia, which is my hometown, which is Wilmington,
Okay.
North Carolina. That's my second home, the little beach town.
Okay. North
You know,
Carolina, huh? So
but
originally from North Carolina or Philly?
originally from Philly,
Oh,
and my dad was a recruiter for a long time in Wilmington, North Carolina, and that's where they divorced, and we lived there, moved to Virginia and places, and then kind of moved back after high school because we were 20 miles from Canada in Fort Drum, New York, past Syracuse. So we were like, the only beach I knew was Wilmington, and me and my best friend moved to Wilmington, North Carolina for college.
beach is a beach. Beach is a beach.
Oh yeah, you know. And so you're in Las Vegas now. You said you been around the country doing various jobs. What job was that you had that had you doing that?
Oh man. Well, I'm a welder by trade. Pipe welding. Pipe welding's my thing. At one point I was an underwater welder, which is something that most people don't know, it was a very short 4-year window where I was doing commercial diving, which took me to mainly the Gulf of Mexico. But after finishing that up, and then realizing that it was a dream that I saw through, and got to the point of where okay, I'm done with this, and then I find myself back on mainland and continue my welding career, which takes you lots of various places, but mainly south, like Oklahoma, Texas, and then from there on my way back west again, a little bit of Colorado, but yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Like the welding journey, like takes you on the road. You got to just chase that money. As you build it, it gets further away, right? So you got to keep following it as it goes down on down the road.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a crazy profession, like underwater welding. It's a weird profession that I've thought about randomly throughout life, not about doing, just randomly. I'm like, there are people that do that. You know, it's
yo.
it doesn't sound like the stereotypical,
How do you
brave job,
weld?
but like that sounds brave as hell. Like you
How do
gotta
you
get
weld
over a few
underwater?
fears.
That's crazy. Like how like that's
It
like
is crazy. Say again.
The concept.
don't you gotta heat some shit up? Like
Fire underwater.
Yeah,
like,
dude, it's I
Define.
did it, and it still blows my mind how it works. It's still just the same as you would do it topside. Electricity, you have a ground and you have the other side, and you're just short circuiting electricity. Now, mind you, in the water being conductive as well,
Yeah.
that's where it gets
That
tricky,
was my
right?
that was my next question.
right.
That's where it gets tricky. So it's still, electricity still works underwater like really well. Just don't get yourself, anybody here watching this thinking about doing this in the future, just remember this one thing: do not put yourself between your electrode and your ground until topside. Make it hot. You will regret it instantly, and then be very upset, and you will remind yourself, you'll never forget to you'll never forget to be outside of it again. I
Ooh,
promise you that.
I was
It's
about to
not
say you'll
fun.
be upset, so you'll be alive most of the
Yes.
time. Is that what it sounds
Yes.
like?
No, it's not. It's not the welding aspect isn't the dangerous part of it. That's, you'll learn that on your own. It's like smacking your own hand, like, oh, don't do that again.
Yeah.
You'll do it. It's not even gonna injure you. It's just gonna suck for a second. It's the being underwater in another world that you don't belong in is the dangerous part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody that does any kind of work, just even recreationally, it's a obviously it's an extremely dangerous thing. But to do it for work with a hard hat on, like physically your dive hat is your hard hat. Um,
Oh,
Tools, with a specific goal in mind, a specific task that you got to go do and you got to go perform. Um, it's a little bit different than recreational, going and having fun and taking snapshots of coral and clownfish and stuff.
Yeah.
But you got a job to do, and they're relying on you to do it. And it's a dangerous setting in the sense that you're working around equipment. You still have cranes involved, lifting devices. You still have tools. Obviously, we talked about welding, um, heavy things that can go wrong at any minute. And so welding is not specifically the dangerous aspect of it. It's just being in a world that we're not supposed to be in, but we figured
yeah.
out a way.
And then having to be aware too, like that's big. How long are y'all down there? Like, because you're working, like how long have you be
Like
down
a
there like
long.
on that daily?
So there's lots of levels to it. So you can be down there pretty comfortably 6 to 8 hours in a shift, right? Come back up and then like almost live like a normal life. Go eat dinner like on the boat, in the kitchen in the mess hall. Um, that's like the one level to it. That's like the most probably not basic, but the most common way, right? But then as you go and as you get better at it, the deeper you go and the longer time that you spend down there, the more time it takes for you to decompress. Decompression, so you don't hurt yourself, you don't get bent. And sometimes when it comes down to people making money, time is money, right? It's better to just keep you at that depth. So what they would do is they would have send down a chamber like being, if you will, like a tank or a submarine that can't drive or anything, but it has windows and it's a sealed unit, and you can go inside of it, and then it can actually pick you up from your depth or whatever level you're working at. Let's say you're working at 120 feet and they need you to work that job for 4 weeks. Well, it doesn't make sense to keep coming up and down because you can only stay at 120 feet for like 4 or 6 hours. And then you got to start making your 6 hour descent up because of decompression. So they just keep you at that level, and you live in a can for the duration of the job, simulated to that depth. So you're basically inside of like an air compressor tank, right?
Yeah.
Simulated at the depth you're working at. And then you've seen in movies where you can open up the hatch at the bottom and you can go and swim out, right, at the abyss, or any movie that you've seen underwater. You've seen them where they have pools inside, but they're hundreds of feet underneath. So it's the same thing. It's just equalized, right? So the same pressure on the inside of the vessel is the same as the depth you're in. So it keeps it pushed down, just like your cup, in the bathtub when you were a kid playing with a cup upside down in the bathtub. You can hold water or you can hold air in it. Same concept. They would keep you in there for the duration of the job. And so you can go, I mean, you name it. You go above, like beyond 165 feet, we started got having to replace nitrogen with helium, and then stuff gets kind of weird and it gets complicated after that. But I mean, super long version of it, but real short is based on the depth and the time you're there, really.
Man. That's crazy, because you also answered my next question as well. It's like, so it sounds like, like how sailors are out to sea for a while. So you're out to sea for, as if the job's, for far enough or deep enough, you're out to sea for the duration of the entire job.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty cool and pretty scary at the same time. So
so when you get to that level, they call you a saturation or a sat diver, right? A saturation diver, meaning that your tissue is saturated with those gases, with those bubbles, and they keep you that way for a long time. So let's say, just for a little perspective, you did work a 4-week job at 120 feet, 160 feet, somewhere in there. And when that job is done, you're still sitting in what we call the can, the chamber on the back of the boat, right? So it's hooked off of a crane. It can send you down, go put you back into work, pull you back up on the boat. And if we got to, drive down the Gulf a little bit, go hit the same pipeline or whatever at the same depth, they just lower you back in. You hop out of the bottom hatch. But when the job is done, now you have to live in that thing to decompress for a week, 2 weeks. You got to slowly come up from 160 feet. They'll bring you up slowly to like 130 feet and make you sit there for 2-3 days. And they'll bring you up again to like maybe 115 feet, sit there for 2-3 days. So it's a long process. So that's why I was saying earlier, there was like different levels to it as you go.
That's cool.
It's a job.
That's cool.
Yo, real quick.
What's up? I was gonna say, we're gonna take a real quick break because we're pushing up against time for this meeting, but we'll be right back with Timmy B